You could totally hire a day of wedding coordinator based on vibes alone, but if you want maybe like a more reliable approach to what you need to do to hire a day of wedding coordinator, I have a few different questions that you should be asking any potential vendor that you might be working with on the day to make sure your wedding day goes absolutely beautifully smooth, like a smooth peanut butter. Whew. Hey, I'm Emily Declue. I'm the founder of The Joy Factor Wedding and Events, a Toronto-based company that works with DIY couples like you to make sure that you have the perfect wedding of your dreams. I post lots of different videos on wedding planning topics. I was gone for a little while. I had a baby, but he's here now and everything's normal. Normal. So I'm back to posting very regularly, and I'm very excited to bring you lots more to help you plan your perfect day. So today we're talking about how to hire a day of wedding coordinator. You've done all of the planning, like all of the little pieces are in a row. You're a DIY bride or groom, and you're like, I know exactly what's supposed to happen. I need to know what's going on with the person that I'm gonna be hiring so that I can make sure that I trust them. So what are some questions that you should be asking? Well, the first thing that I always say is like, make sure that you get a sense of what the whole process is going to be like working with this particular person. When you have a call with them, ask them to walk you through how everything's gonna go. So like I will have a call with my potential couples. We're gonna have 30 to 40 minutes where I get a sense of like the whole vision for the wedding, and then I walk you through step by step what it's gonna be like to work with me. So that's like our kickoff call where you talk with me one-on-one for about 2 hours. It's a pretty in-depth, detailed call, and I'm gonna do a video on all of the different things that we cover too, just so that like you can prepare. If you're like, I'm not actually gonna hire a wedding coordinator for my day, like I'm gonna give this to somebody else, I'm gonna give you a list of that in a future video, so stay tuned for that. So on this call, we will go through all of those little tiny little details. I take everything back and then I put together things like your run sheet, which is like your itinerary for the day. I put together anything your bridal party needs to know about, so they have their papers or they have it in their notes app or however they want to have it. And then either myself or one of my amazing coordinators will be there on the day. Now that's a really important thing that you should consider too. Is the person that you're talking to going to be the person that's at your wedding on the day of your wedding? Because if it's not, you may want to ask if you can have a quick call with them to chat to make sure that it is a good vibe fit, because the vibe does matter a little bit, but it also does matter, does this person know what they're doing? At the Joy Factor, we make sure that all of our coordinators are very well trained and they know exactly what's going on. So all of the information that they get is coming from me, which is coming directly from you. So you could get me, or you could get a coordinator, or you could get a combination of the both of us. And that really just comes down to what kind of wedding are you having? Is it a ginormous wedding? Are there lots of different transitions that we need to be managing? So getting a sense of whether the person you're talking to is going to be the person there on the day or not, I think is the first step to figuring out, is this going to be a good fit for you? The next thing is find out if they will coordinate with your vendors as the contact person. So I always make sure that my couples have my phone and email address just in case their vendors need to contact me for anything leading up to the wedding. We're not going to be going through any contract negotiations. That's all you. That's the DIY part of your DIY wedding. But I'm going to take those contracts on the day. I'm going to be going through all of that information and making sure that we are checking off all of the boxes. Were the flowers delivered and placed where they were supposed to go, for example? If your coordinator isn't really interested in handing over their contact information, that might be a red flag and something to consider. Maybe this person isn't going to be trustworthy enough to manage all of the tiny little pieces. Anyway, it would be a red flag for me, so I'm just throwing that out there. It might not be a red flag for you, but I would say I highly recommend, if you are hiring someone and paying them money to do this job for you, make sure that they are willing to give their contact information to your vendors. Okay, on the note of putting all of the little pieces together, you should be asking your potential day of coordinator if they will be putting together your itinerary for you, or if that's on you, or if they will be putting together a seating chart, or if that's on you. Everybody has a completely different process, so it's really important for you to know, like, okay, well, I know for sure I don't want to be taking care of the itinerary. I need somebody else to manage that. I don't have a clue how to figure out how my grandma's gonna get from this location to that location, so somebody else needs to make sure that that is all organized and the right people are in the right place at the right time to make that happen. On the day, you don't want to be thinking about that at all. All you want to be thinking about is, yay, I got married and now I'm having a party and it's gonna be a super fun time. Somebody else should be taking care of those little details for you. But honestly, you might have a completely different process. Maybe you're doing your grandma's makeup on the day of your wedding. That was me. I did my grandma's makeup on the day of my wedding. So maybe you're much more hands-on, but you need someone to make sure that the overall stuff is getting done. Everybody's different, so make sure that the person that you're going to be working with, you're asking these specific questions. Okay, so depending on your comfort level, you might want to find out how many other weddings they've coordinated. This is kind of a tricky one because the person that you're hiring could have coordinated tons of different events, just maybe not specifically weddings when they're just getting started. Or maybe they're like really, really experienced. They've done like thousands of weddings. And maybe you don't love that. Maybe you don't want to just be another number. So you can see how this might make a difference in the decision that you're making. Like, do you want to be really closely involved with your day of coordinator, or do you want to be more hands-off? Like, think about these different things in the context of how you envision your day going. And finally, the last question you might want to ask is, why are you a day of wedding coordinator? What is it that motivates you? Like, why do you feel good about coordinating weddings? What is it that excites you about it? You might be surprised by the answer and you might be shocked by the answer. You never know. But it's a really great way to assess, like, is this person gonna fit me emotionally? I think that's a really important piece when we're looking at, like, how do we be more joyful with our wedding planning, and how do we make sure that we're enjoying the day? So these are all of the questions. I'm gonna list them all below for you so that you know what you should ask when you're doing your interviews, because I know it can be really scary to hand over the reins to somebody else. You've done all of the planning. It's a DIY wedding. You're good to go. You know exactly what needs to happen when. It can feel really overwhelming to hand that information over to somebody else and be like, okay, I guess run with it. And you don't know, is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen? It will happen, as long as you make sure that you ask the right questions and you feel good about the decision that you're making. If you get any red flags, there are lots and lots of us. We're all in different areas, and there will be someone who is perfect for you. And I always say to people at the beginning of calls together when I'm first meeting a couple, like, this call is really to make sure that we are the right match for each other. And if I'm not the right match for somebody, it's okay. Like, it's not gonna hurt our feelings. We wanna just make sure that you have the perfect day. That may not include myself. That may not include a different coordinator. It's whoever you choose and whoever you feel good about working with. So if you found this video useful, I'd be so grateful if you subscribed on YouTube or follow along in your favorite podcast app. Drop a comment, let me know what your thoughts are if you have any questions. You can always email me at emily@joyfactorweddings.com if you have any other questions or other topics that you'd like me to cover. I'll be back soon with another video, but until then, keep it joyful.